What is the best South Park episode? Make Love Not Warcraft. The medical one when all the dudes were giving themselves testicular cancer. Butter's Bottom BTCH. Scott Tenorman Must Die. Taco Flavored Kisses. Fish Sticks is up there for sure. Christian rock band. Takin, You're Black. You Can Play Bass. The Day Before the Day After Tomorrow Where the Damn Flood Leads to Global Warming Panic. Any Randy episode is hilarious. The Medicinal Fried Chicken episode comes in at a close second. R. Kelly Trapped in the Closet. Biggest. The Last of the Mohicans. Let's Fighting Love. That one where Jimmy and Timmy join the Crips is comedy gold. The one where Randy Marsh takes it upon himself to become the worst school baseball dad while the kids try to leave the league for being the worst team. Dances with Smurfs. Miss Teacher Bangs a Boy Nice. Make Love Not Warcraft. Butter's Bottom. Scott Tenorman Must Die with apologies to Jesse Jackson. Fish Sticks. Fun with Weapons. The Ninja episode. The Wheel of Fortune episode. I personally love the Poor Ant episode that parodies NASCAR. Imagination Land. Ahem. Way Shut It Cartman. Way I'm warning you. It's a Jersey Thing is a good one. That's a tough one, but I'd have to go with the episode Scott Tenorman Must Die. Nice House. Lol. Haven't watched the show since I was little, but it's the one with Satan and Saddam Hussein in. Concentration Camp. Funniest thing ever. Personally my faves are Pandemic and The Jeffersons. Say 5 episode 4. Duration 10:11 to 13:24. You will have the best time of your life. The one with the member berries. Not for the plot, not for the racism or anti-Semitism, but because when my little nephew first heard them chanting member, he copied them and it was adorable! And Friends. Man Bear Pig. Good Times with Weapons. Black Friday special episodes. There are 2 or 3 in season of 2013. Scott Tenorman Must Have the Making Movies, Making Songs and Fightin' Round the World. Women who decided to have children. What was the defining moment of your decision? I had endometriosis, and the longer I left it the less likely I was to ever be able to have one. The pain was unbearable and I could feel the damage it was doing to my body. While I wasn't totally ready at the time, it took me so long to get pregnant. It was definitely the right decision to make. Endo was gone after that. I decided at the age of 6 or so that I was going to have kids so I would have my own family, and I was also quite aware that even at 6, I could do a better job as a parent than my biological family. Baby rabies struck me around age 26. I got pregnant. For myself, I don't think I could have had an abortion, nothing to do with politics or anything, I just don't think I could have done it. Even as a little girl I always wanted to grow up and be a mommy. So I guess I always sort of knew. It just happened way sooner than I had expected it to. I was around 20 when I realized I wanted to have kids. I just thought about how wonderful it would be to have children with a man that I love. I thought about all the things I wanted to do with them and how much joy I'd have watching them learn and grow. I would also love to feel that connection of having a child inside of me. When I was crowning, when I found the only man I'd ever consider having a kid with. We also had a miscarriage recently while I was on the implant, and experiencing that with him made me 100. I wanted that baby with him, so we are now trying for real. The only thing holding me back was the fear that I would have a kid and somehow turn into my mother and parent the way she did. Therapy helped with that. After that I was ready for it. Finding out I was pregnant and feeling good about it. It was a surprise, but my husband and I had spoken about trying to have children in the near future. So, it was kind of nice to just have it happen. It felt right. Baby girl is due in June and we can't wait to meet her. Soapy as this might sound, it was when I met my husband. Before that, the idea of having a family as dysfunctional as mine really scared me. I felt like there was a better chance I'd regret not having one than having one. It's impressive that The Simpsons has been on the air for more than 30 years, and has 0 spin-offs. That's only because Poochie died on the way back to his own planet. The Simpsons is a spin-off. It originated on the Tracy Ullman Show. This is incorrect. Chief Wiggum P.I., Love-Matic Grandpa, and The Simpsons Family Smile Time Variety Hour all existed despite how much fans wish to erase those shows from their memory. I thought this can't be true, so I did what I do and checked it out. Yup. Very impressive. People here really don't agree on the definition of a spin-off. I hate saying this, but technically once Disney took over and put it on Prime, maybe shorts are spin-offs away from the main show. Most of them are pretty good and worth a watch, especially the first 2. Not a spin-off, but I would consider Futurama an extension on The Simpsons. I must be old. Does nobody remember The Critic? It stinks. Part of that is that the show included so many satires of fictional offshoots like The Itch and Scratchy Show, Krusty the Clown, Troy McClure's Saws, etc., etc. Anyone pondering making a spin-off would recognize immediately that it would be the subject of satire in the show it spun off from, so they just cut out the middleman. SpongeBob has been on the air 10 years less than that and has 2 spin-offs currently airing along with the regular series still producing episodes. They had some in the works. I think it will eventually, If The Simpsons ever does get cancelled, it's far too big of a cash cow to let go that easily. I'm almost positive they'll at least try a few spin-offs in that case. They almost made a live-action Krusty the Clown show starring Dan Castellaneta. Did you know that the episode that Steamed Hams came from was a bunch of potential pilots for spin-offs? It spawned a genre, though. American Dad, Future Man, Rick and Morty. Is Futurama not a spin-off? I know none of the characters are in the show, but it's similar animation style. Perhaps spin-offs would have reduced the value of The Simpsons? I can't imagine wanting to watch a show about any Simpsons character in particular without The Simpsons being present. Considering the long-term effect it had on Family Guy's wiring reputation, When did you realize the dreams you had for your life weren't coming true? I knew already as a small child. I still dreamt about things I wanted, but I knew it would never happen. Most recently the thought hit me last night, as in when you were younger and you had all these hopes, dreams, plans, special goals for your future and an idea of how your life would turn out. When did you realize this wasn't going to happen? November 12, 2003 to be exact. When I was a kid I dreamed of marrying Jonathan Brandis. He committed suicide and died on that day. The second accident in which I sustained severe life-changing injuries. From prodigy to busted. At 15, then I gained back my hopes and eventually the realization grew bigger and bigger from 17-19. When I realized buses were scary, big me driving one probably wouldn't be a good idea. Some of us have had our dreams come true, so not yet and not likely. A majority of my dreams did come true for my life. My dreams weren't that grandiose. All I wanted was a house, a luxury car, to be successful at my chosen profession, not to have kids and to have my current body type, thin, athletic, and all those things happen for me. More recently, my dream was to start writing books too, and I just did it. Nothing stopped me. Just now. Thanks a lot. When inflation happened, I'd say about 25 years old. I had a degree and was taking a specialized course after graduating in an attempt to chase my dream job when I realized I was just tired of continuing to put in the effort. Outside of my career, I'd say that's the only dream that won't come true. They've been late or I haven't had the door close on them quite yet, so we'll see. When I saw what you have to do to get a PhD. Eternal student. When I got to university. When I was failing biology in college, lol. I wanted to be a pediatrician so badly, but I hated biology. Ironically, I took bio-app in high school and loved it, but bio in college was completely different. Graduated with a chem degree and have not regretted it one bit. September 2008. I still dream of living in the first hotel room of GTA Vice City. Is it impossible? How do you feel when men purposefully go out of their way to give you space in public? Good. I prefer it when people I don't know keep their distance. Relieved. It makes me feel safer. Like, stepping out of the way so that we can both have space? It's rare, and I think it's kind of them to be considerate. I do the same thing with the awareness that women are a lot more conscious of the space we take up than men are. I don't know if I've ever had this happen to me that I've noticed, but once time I was walking to my car in the middle of the day and a guy behind me said loudly, "I'm not following you, I'm just walking the same way." I was startled, so I laughed a little. It was kind of weird, tbh. I don't take much notice. I'm just as okay with consistent space and the equivalent of an "excuse me" if they're getting closer. A little bit out of the way is fine, give me the same space you should any stranger. Ridiculously out of the way is a bit weird. I appreciate the effort. I appreciate it and try to do the same for other. I just like my space around strangers. I appreciate it when both men and women go out of their way to keep their distance, especially if it's winter cold season and they're not wearing a mask. I don't feel anything extra about specifically men doing it, though. I don't feel unsafe around men. Grateful. If it's so both may pass by. If cold flu season, it's very thoughtful. If they are literally running away or crossing the street, I would wonder if I needed to shower or something. Relieved. Grateful. I appreciate it a lot. I don't generally notice it, but certainly appreciate it far more than when men get into my space unnecessarily. The only time I think it's good to be aware is if you're walking behind them. You don't need to move to the other side of the lot. You can take up space as well, my friend. Sad that they feel like they have to do that. Appreciative. I haven't noticed that ever happening to me outside of "here's enough space for you to walk through the door first." I'd find it a bit weird. Like, do I smell or something, lol. I suppose I'd appreciate more in the streets at nighttime or something. I'm curious to know who would have a problem with this. I feel good, like they're being respectful, and I appreciate it. The Last of Us TV. What do the infected eat? In the second episode, when they are in the museum, they walk through a lot of infected that had dried out and died, so it does happen that they don't get enough nutrition. But there does also seem to be some sort of root network they all connected to, and when they aren't hunting they seem almost in a hibernation mode. They can go into a low metabolism mode where they collapse for a while, but otherwise they feed on animals and humans and plants they can get their hands on. If they get too emaciated, the fungus rips out of them and they become a wall sporer. If every insect animal except humans magically grew 10x its size, what would the dominant species on Earth be? Ants, just like they are now. But they'd be much harder to ignore. Humans get 10x food. I would say in the ocean, whales would be interesting. Lol. Mosquitoes. Y'all, it's game over if the praying mantis gets a 10x size boost with no negatives attached. I'm going to disagree with all the ant comments. There. Not the commenters, the ants, and you could still bait them, spray them. I think the whole hawk raptor buzzard range of birds would be a major issue. There are tons of them and you would be at, depending on species, a 30-40 foot wingspan. Ants account for roughly 20 biomass on Earth. 10x and they would decimate most countries. Also we'd be overrun with. Everywhere. Huntsman spiders would be super terrifying. Dragonfly. They have. Percentage of upwards of 90 when they hunt. Most animals have around 30. Humans, assuming we could survive the catastrophic environmental collapse that would follow. The square cube law and plants being unaffected means that most animals would die from various causes: suffocation, inability to move, inability to find sufficient food, etc. I feel like gorillas and hippos would silently overcome the land. Dolphins or orca could rule the seas, although colossal squid would be one of a force to reckon with. Still, humans, a slight size boost isn't going to help anything else overcome the inventions of humanity. Eat everything. Imagine 10x size hornets. Even if they would most likely not rule, I don't want to know what a whale or an elephant would look like if 10x bigger. Geese, 150-foot alligators and snakes and sharks, King Kong, 1,000 feet whales. Humans would still be at the top in some regions, some would turn into prehistoric times. I'm most scared of the 10 pounds chihuahua that wants to rip everyone and thing apart, now weighing 100 pounds. Those little guys are vicious. Humans, with a bit of extra struggle. Rats. Still us, we'd just spend a lot more on defense. Wasps. Humanity would cower in fear at the buzzing sound of an approaching swarm. How would you navigate your GF sleeping at another man's house? I'm glad I no longer have to deal with this type of situation. Being older comes with less BS. Well, you have aired your issues with it and she doesn't see it as an issue. Your choice is to now live with her decision, which she has every right to make, or break up with her. Is this a deal breaker for you? Why aren't you invited if you're her BF? Get the out of that. She's 18, she doesn't care about anyone but herself at this moment. I would navigate my way out of the relationship. You navigate yourself out of the relationship. If that was part of her life before she started dating you, your chances of stopping it are nil. Those are her friends. Either live with it and decide you trust her, or break up. Better yet, become friends with those friends and decide if you trust them, make a decision from there. Have you met these guy friends? I had a really close group of guy friends when I was that age. If I'm drinking, it was safer for me to sleep on the couch than to find a way home. That's what I often did. Eventually, I started dating a guy and he started coming over with me. Are you getting invites? Either trust her and deal with it or break up with her. It's literally that simple. I'd move on personally and date someone your age instead of an 18-year-old. I was the same way as a guy and I'm not a cheater, but I'd also invite my girlfriend over to party and get to know my friends if she was concerned about the women I chill with. Sounds like you need a new girlfriend. Just know that when you guys get into a fight, her friend will be there to hold her. Why aren't you there with them? It could be really fun. Let me save you a lot of time and heartache. Move on from her. Either you trust your girlfriend, and there's no issue. Or you don't trust your girlfriend, and then that's the real issue. I would strive to get to know these friends better. Make them your friends as well. Make it so you trust them not to mess with your girl, just like you trust your girl not to mess with them. What is a good song that is over 6 minutes long? Being super into prog and black metal, the majority of music I listen to is over 6 minutes lol. Here are some great 6-minute songs: Dream Theater, A Change of Seasons, Agalok, In the Shadow of Our Pale Companion, Rivers of Nihil, The Void from Which No Sound Escapes, Opeth, The Murhaken, Cockroach King, Green Grass and High Tides. Whenever you heard that on the radio, you knew the DJ needed to either take a or have a smoke. Added to add, I am referring to the 20-minute live version, should have made that clear in the beginning. Roundabout by Yes, Maggot Brain by Parliament Funkadelic. Whenever I make friends with someone new, I tend to recommend it to or show it to them. The first time I heard it, I was blown away and I continue to enjoy it just as much with every listen. The 1812 Overture, War Pigs, Black Sabbath, The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, Echoes by Pink Floyd, barely over the 6-minute mark at 23:35. 2112, Progressive metal has entered the chat. The Chord of the Crimson King. Telegraph Road Dire Straits. Sigur Rós Untitled. Shine On You Crazy Diamond. Terrapin Station Medley Grateful Dead. Tubular Bells. Supper's Ready Genesis and the best Led Zeppelin song, No Quarter. Live version off of the song remains the same album. Dance Yourself Clean by LCD Sound System. The Decemberists. The Mariner's Revenge Song. Hurricane Bob Dylan. Sultans of Swing Dire Straits Basel 1992 version. Albuquerque by Weird Al. Mr. Blue Sky Extended version 609. Paranoid Android. Schism. Disintegration The Cure How to Disappear Completely Radiohead We're in This Together Nin Dogs Pink Floyd. Money for Nothing by Dire Straits. Rooster by Alice in Chains. Time Pink Floyd. Constantine by Something Corporate. One of my all-time favorite songs. Edit Can't Believe I Spelled Constantine with a C. I'm sorry. The Greatest Show on Earth by Nightwish. It's a long 124 minutes but worth it. The End The Doors. Dream Suite in C Major, by Miracle Musical. How long do you wait in between hair washes? If I don't wash it every night I get really bad forehead acne. 3-4 days, a day or two. My hair gets greasy very easily on the second day it's already greasy. I wash my hair every Thursday so once a week. It has done great for my hair to do this too because my hair doesn't produce oils fast. So this helps keep my scalp nourished whereas prior I was washing every day I had dry and itchy scalp. I wash it on the third day also. Anyone can recommend a good dry shampoo that doesn't make my entire hair dry. 6-7 days. If I blow dry it straight then 6 days, if I leave it curly then 7. Every day. I have very oily skin. 3-5 days. I try for 5, mostly it's 4, sometimes it's 3. If it looks bad at 2 it never really does. I wait at least until day 3. And I always wash it once it gets to 5. 1-2 days, 6 days. A month if I'm depressed. As a black female, normally once every 6-8 weeks depending on the style. 1 week. Normally 2 days. When the depression hits, it goes to 7-10 days. Every day. I wash my hair every day cause I'm a germaphobe and I feel like it gets contaminated when I go out lol. I wash mine every second day. Varies a lot, but normally 4 or 5 days. I wash my hair every 3 days. Very rarely it'll get dirty in between those days. But I try not to wash my hair more than twice or thrice a week. I have almost waist-length hair. 2 days. Whenever my hair gets greasy I wash which is usually every 2 days. As a woman I've also never fully understood waiting between hair washes. Is there a reason? Do people's hair not get greasy after like 2 days? 1.5 weeks. Have lots of gray and saving color. I'm Asian so my hair gets greasy quickly. I try to wash it only every other day because I dye my grays. If the dry shampoo loses the fight against grease I end up washing it at least a day. I try to make it as close to a week as possible. 2 days. I will exercise on the day I need to wash my hair. You're offered $1 billion, but you have 5 years taken from your lifespan. Do you take the money? Why or why not? I'm here for a good time, not a long time homie. I would take the money. Support myself and family. If I would die instantly then my family can keep the money and use it. The answer is yes. Dying at 45 is as tragically young as 35. 80 as opposed to 90 makes no difference to me now. We already live with the uncertainty of when we will die. I just take the $1 billion and live life. Of course. Living poor probably takes more years off anyway. Stress of work probably does too. Then think of all the extra time you can spend by just paying extra money to not have to deal with the extra little life throws at you. Would take that in a heartbeat and have generational wealth to pass on! Yeah, I've already taken 5 years off just with junk food. Don't even ask about the booze and drugs. In a heartbeat. My kid is non-verbally autistic and will likely need help after my death. That much money would guarantee it. The last 5 are the sick years anyway. Let's roll. I'll double the years for half the money. Capitalism baby. Yes. My family historically lives well into their 90s. I'm good to die a little early. Nope. I want to be here for my kids and grandkids as long as I can, not financially, but emotionally. $1 billion is inconceivable to me anyway. I'd take 2 lol. I'd give years of my life for my mom to have lived a few more. I would not, but mostly because my mom died in her 60s and so did her mom, and I want to see my kids grow up. Yes, I'd take it. I'm assuming I'm living until at least maybe like 75, so I'll take dying at 70. $1 billion is so much. That's tough cause I'm already in my 50s. Obviously leaning toward taking it, but it could mean dying real soon. Yeah, for sure, I'll likely get a disease that'll take more than 5 years off, but could be treated with wild money. If not, hey, I'd have worked way more than 5 years in my lifetime! Yeah. You can do a lot of good for your community with $1 billion. How can a shy person flirt without looking like they're having a medical emergency? Last time I flirted they put me in a medically induced coma. If you're as naturally funny as this post title, you're good to go. Light convo, give compliments, maintain eye work, banter, just relax, they're only human. Treat them that way. Just flirt in the hospital. I'm in this question and I don't like it. Talk normally as you would to a friend. The passion you exude just being yourself in a true way is compelling. It will translate to the other person the right one. That you're fond of yourself in the right way, not arrogant. That's presence, one that's hard to forget. I can't flirt for either. At least not when sober. Usually I just try to look my best every time I'm around that person. Be the shiny fishing lure. Use it like a superpower. If someone asks why you don't talk, say you like to observe and that people just like to talk to listen to themselves talk. If that's who you are, that's who you are. I knew a girl whose icebreaker was in German native English speaker. It was weird but that was kind of her style. If a girl laughed then she would apologize and redo in English. It was more about breaking the tension than being smooth. You can. But that flopping around in an awkward way is what's appealing about it to the right woman or man. Just picture if there was a woman flirting with you, but she was so socially awkward that she kept tripping on her words and her feet and maybe spilled food on herself. But you could tell through the awkwardness that she was cool, and into you. Wouldn't that be appealing to you? Is it possible to learn this power? Not from an introvert. Don't try to flirt, just talk to them about anything. Work on your confidence. It's the best solution. Flirt with someone. If you're being odd, just explain that you're a terrible flirt. Use that sense of humor. Have fun. In my experience, try it with much older women first. They tend to have the experience and love the attention. They also do not expect anything. They get to smile and know they still have it. You get to practice and know what works and what doesn't. Electronically. You can take time to compose a text or an email like you don't have Earl.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.